What's up, guys? It's Crash. Got a breaking DeltaForce news video for you guys today. They just did an Ask Shadow Anything episode over on the official YouTube channel. If you guys did not know, Shadow is the lead game designer over there. He's kind of in charge of everything going on within the studio. And the video was in Chinese, so I thought I could do my viewers some service, more than likely English speakers, that I went ahead and watched it through with closed captioning on, and then I will break it down and give you guys the summary of what all was said over there, because a lot of the questions that were answered were very high profile questions that I have seen a lot. I've seen these recurring both in my YouTube comments as well as on X and Reddit and things like that out in the community. These are the things they're asking. Now, whether or not you're satisfied with the answers, that is up to you. But if you will pardon me, I will occasionally look down at my monitor because I have notes and I don't want to mess this up. I want to get you guys the information as quickly and as efficiently, and let's be a good journalist, accurately as possible. So let's get into it. The first thing that was discussed was security concerns and everything with the kernel level anti-cheat, and he did not directly answer anything to kind of calm our worries about what they could potentially be doing with data information. They did talk about the effectiveness of the kernel level anti-cheat, as well as kind of maybe to their surprise that they have found kernel level cheats themselves. They have banned 1,107 cheaters, 781 devices have been banned. They have also blocked or stopped before they even started 1,251 instances of cheat, so those were blocked. And then 3,230 people have been kicked from matches due to cheating. And as far as that question goes, I would have really liked more information there about, how kernel level anti-cheats work, what they have access to, if they're recording anything, stuff like that would have been really cool to know. And also, that number seems low to me. With the Steam charts around 100,000 players daily, that seems pretty low. I can't help but think Arena Breakout Infinite probably has fewer players right now because it just didn't just release, and DeltaForce has a ton of hype behind it right now. And they're banning around 7,000 cheaters a week over on Arena Breakout. So that 1,107 cheaters banned seems really low. Just anecdotally from my own experience, I have had someone that shot everybody at the beginning of an extraction mode through the map, and they have not been cheated because they have not been banned because I didn't get anything back from that. So hopefully the anti-cheat does a little bit better. I would love to see in the comments what you guys' experiences is right now with the level of cheaters in the game. Now, the next one, this is more so on the warfare side of things than it is on the extraction side of things, where I spend a lot of my time, the operations side, but it's skill-based matchmaking. He talked about what goes into skill-based matchmaking, and then he said he doesn't feel like SBMM aligns well with what DeltaForce is doing. So basically what they have said on X in the past is there is a new player pool, and then once you've played a few matches, you go into the everyone else pool for random games. And high pings and long wait times are not due to skill-based matchmaking, he said. He said gathering up 64 players in different regions and time zones is the culprit, as well as getting everything loaded on everyone's machine, the maps loading and stuff like that. And they are working on optimizations to speed that up. It's kind of general matchmaking. And also ranked and unranked does not take into account, or is not going to be a cause of that either. He said it doesn't take into account player scores either. What kind of could make you think that was some localization issues with how things were kind of translated could kind of lead someone to believe that, ranked is going to be different than unranked when it comes to matchmaking and lead to longer queue times. That is not the case. Basically, if you go into ranked mode, it's just keeping track of your performance in the games that you would be playing anyway. And then if you're playing with other users, if you're playing with friends that are across the pond or in different regions or something like that, that is also could be a reason for higher ping times. But went on to say, again, skill-based matchmaking is not really in the game right now. But I know people have said different things like that. If I take my own experience, mostly in the operations mode, I almost feel like, this is totally anecdotal and I'm pulling it out of my butt, that it feels like there's a gear score almost, to where when I run higher tier gear, I come across players with higher tier gear and vice versa. I don't know if that's the case. That's just a feeling that I get. That's a feeling I got in the closed test, and that's a feeling that I'm getting now. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever talk about that or address how matchmaking works and what it takes into account there. But at least in the operations side of things, ping hasn't been an issue. But I know over on Warfare, you guys have seen some issues that could lead you to believe that skill-based matchmaking is there. They're saying it isn't. I don't know. You guys be the judge and have the final say on what you believe there. Adjusting certain maps and closing them off during low player counts in regions is another thing that they are looking at and kind of speeding things up as far as matchmaking is concerned, but they are trying to optimize that. Console and controller support. Every video I make, people are asking about console. The answer is still the same, though I can give a little bit of an update from my own observations. Controller support and console support is still slated for Q1 of next year, so early on after the first of the year. They are play testing on console right now, and it's going well. They said they've put a bunch of hours into playing it on console, as well as new and different modes on console are working good. I have seen in the last Ask Shadow Anything, or kind of the last live stream they did before this open PC beta drop, they showed someone playing it on Xbox. So it was on Xbox, someone was playing with it, and it looked smooth and fine. So console is right around the corner. I know many of you are excited for that. The next one I thought was really interesting is the Battle Pass cap. So if you buy the Battle Pass, you can only progress so many levels a week. And it was kind of interesting. People were kicking around the idea of it kind of being a Chinese value. In China, you can't play video games between certain hours because they say it's for your well-being. If you spend too many times playing video games, you're not being productive. And that's exactly what he said here. He said that playing too much is bad for you. And playing too much any kind of video games is too bad for you. So they didn't want people to feel like they had to grind it. They didn't want players to be overwhelmed. So that's why the cap is there. Now, they said they're open to feedback and they may change it in the future, which I think they should. In my opinion, I feel like when you buy the Battle Pass, you're buying the opportunity, which I still am not a huge fan of Battle Passes because you're buying the opportunity to earn stuff. You don't even buy anything outright with real money. But if you do buy the premium edition of the Battle Pass, that should be yours to unlock as you want to. I mean, we got some freedom over here stateside, right? If you want to grind video games 24/7 and unlock things on the Battle Pass, then by golly, America, you should be able to do that. So I hope they do unlock that so people can unlock it when they can, because on the flip side of that, some folks like myself, or that have families or jobs that can take them out of town, it's important to have the flexibility to be able to unlock the rewards you paid for as you can. So maybe, this week I have some time to play. I can play on some nights and things like that and get stuff done. And maybe I have a work trip next week. I'm not going to be able to touch it, and I don't want to fall behind when they do the next 10 tiers on the next week. So instead of keeping us on a schedule of like 10 tiers a week, it would be cool to let people unlock it at their leisure. Now, he talked about skins. People are worried about skins getting a little crazy. He said they want the skins in the game to remain somewhat grounded and realistic. I kind of think that is a little bit off base. I think the skins are a little crazy. Do I have a problem with them? Absolutely not. The game is what it is. The skins are going to be what they are. The game is going to rely on them to make a bunch of money. So they are going to borderline on getting kind of crazy. Again, they're not going to get to the Call of Duty level of like Nicki Minaj and 21 Savage and like all that crazy stuff, but you are going to have some flamboyant, bright colored skins that are going to be kind of wild. Fine with me. I don't care. That's what he said. Working on UI optimizations to make it more streamlined. I do have to thank you guys. On my last video talking about some of the things, I said maybe it's because I'm ancient, maybe I'm a boomer and I'm old, but the UI is really hard to focus on where I need to go and what's going on. And there's so many layers to it. There's so many events. There's so many different kind of battle pass type progressive events you have to go through and hunt down these exclamation points. But apparently I'm not the only one. You guys made me feel better saying you guys were having issues with it too. But they are working on UI optimizations. They're hearing people's feedback on that and wanting to make it more streamlined, because in my opinion, that kind of, and I'm not saying it's inherently bad, but it feels kind of mobile-like. And it feels like I spend a lot of time in the menus trying to hunt things down. And I thought it was because I'm old, but you guys made me feel better. Either way, even if you're gaslighting me, thank you. I really appreciate that, but they're working on that. Solo mode. A ton of people want solo mode, including myself. He did say one of the downsides to having a solo mode is that it needs a high player count to work with those matchmaking times we talked about in the past when it comes to the operations type mode. And they have plans for it. And they're thinking about maybe just having it on the weekends when player counts are the highest, so people can get into matches right away. Another thing that has been floated around and rumors have been about a battle royale. Right now, they said they have no plans for a battle royale. They're working on what they have right now, optimizing the game and balancing it and make it enjoyable right now with no plans for a battle royale. However, there are the plans still, as I understand it, for a year from now to try to hook everything together in the operations mode and make it open world, which I am very interested to see. But all in all, that is the main things from everything that was dropped today. The English version with a little bit of my own takes on everything. So if you went ahead and watched my video to get the news, I really appreciate it. There's a lot of awesome creators that are making videos about it. I was happy to see them address these, even though I wasn't satisfied with all of the answers, in my opinion. At least they are acknowledging them, and they're not shying away from them, right? Like, we're not getting radio silence like we have from some other games when we're talking about controversial issues like kernel level anti-cheat, skill-based matchmaking, ranked modes, playing against bots and stuff like that. These folks have addressed it, even, you know, with their own terms, but they have addressed it at least and understood what the community is trying to say. And these questions, I mean, these kind of topics in the community haven't even been going on that long, and to see them already address it is definitely a good sign. They've had a lot of transparency as far as addressing these things. So I do appreciate that. I would love a little bit more information on their kernel level anti-cheat, as well as some kind of skill-based matchmaking, or just in general matchmaking logistics behind the scenes on how that stuff works. But other than that, I really liked everything that was said here. Guys, that's all I had for today. Again, if you chose my video to watch, I cannot thank you enough. You are a blessing. I hope you have a great day, and I would like to see you on the next one.